We are live, I think. So what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Modern Day Trader channel. Sorry we're a couple of minutes late, but yeah, we're here, we're back. We've decided to do this early, and we never really spoke about it much. I think we just obviously just agreed to do it earlier because it's a public holiday, at least here in SA. But actually, around in a few countries, I see it as actually Labor Day. But I just thought this would be cool for like a more live kind of like trading floor type vibes because there's positions that we're looking at. Only one for me really, the pound JPY. It's a long, but it's a sketchy long. It could go short, but I guess we'll look at that in a bit. But yeah, Marcy's been at work today. How are you
Yeah,
doing, my G? How's that been going?
works, bro. I feel like I'm tired. I was speaking to one of my mates and I was telling him like, hey, bro, I really just feel like I'm in exam period, bro. Like I feel like I've been in exam period for like the past month and a half. But I told myself
Yeah,
like once it's over, then at least it's calm, you know what I mean? Then I can
yeah,
like calm down a bit, simmer. And yeah, bro, just feels like when everybody's chilling and you just need to work, it feels like, hey, and it's not like you're doing young, like small tasks. It's deep work that you need to
like
do. So it's like you need to be,
mentally taxing stuff.
you know what I mean? So like you need to be in there
Yeah,
thinking and you need to be like putting your head down. So, but it's the life I live, is the life I chose, bro. So you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, just another task at hand that needs to be completed. And so yeah, but other than that, bro,
yeah,
the week's been quite slow. I've only taken 2 trades. Uh,
mm,
yeah, one L and one break even this morning. So and then no further trades for the day. So yeah,
mm.
bro. But it's been a decent week. How's your week been so far? How's your day been? Like chilling at home or like just not being able to or not needing to go to work, bro? How's your day been?
Sorry, I think you lost me for for a second there.
Yeah, I was asking, how's your day been, bro? How's your week been so far? I know you haven't taken any trades just because you haven't sent me any.
Mm,
But how's your week been, and then how's your day so been not needing to go to the office, bro?
yeah. So yeah, it's a bit of a slow week on my end. Quiet week. Haven't taken any positions, but been quite active in the market. I think just trying to stick to the processes, even though there's been no positions. So yeah, looking at a few things for today though. Well, actually only GBP JPY. I was looking at USD ZAR earlier today, but it didn't play out. But I think just trying to still stay active in like the forecasting. The week's going good. Being quite consistent in the gym. Work's been okay. I think now that we kind of post our month end like rush. It's been a better week at Span. The
Mm.
holiday, a bit of a go slow this morning. See some family, get all the admin done, grocery shopping, all of that, and then yeah, just got the afternoon now scheduled probably till like 7. Just some work we need to do. I'm going to be working on the post production for our episode that's dropping Friday evening, and then yeah, just some prep for work tomorrow and some things I need to catch up on. So yeah, good day so far. But yeah, take a bit of a slow morning. The market's also been a bit quiet. But yeah, let me maybe jump on and let's take a look at what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at what we're seeing. Let me know when you can see the screen.
Okay, I can go in, bro.
Let's do that. I think. Yeah, that view seems better. All right. So yeah, only looking at GJ at the moment. Potential entry now, but just looking at how the 4 hour closed, probably not. But I'll get to that in a bit. Starting on dollar index. I think from the start of the week, this looked like it was wanting to break higher. Just looking at up and moving pulses there, and it's correcting, and then we had the push up again, and then this is slow. We've been caught in this range. So anticipating this to trade higher, I think just naturally looking at where prices come from. And then just dropping down into the 4 hours. And I've been using the 4 hour and the 6 hour kind of in conjunction of late, but it's just kind of part of the testing that I'm doing. But yeah, looking at the 4 hour. So what was clean about dollar index? So I've been bullish on it this week, and it's kind of playing out nicely. Was if we get very technical, like if we plot that there, we did close just below there. So we had that close, and then we had the break of structure to the upside on that impulse. Price came lower, mitigated this sort of demand here, and then we've pushed higher. So I like that we shifted structure within this corrective phase here, and it looks like we are breaking to the upside. Also, if the pattern trader in me just plots what we got going on here, we've kind of broken out of at least the dynamic support. I do want to see it break above this point before I'm confident that. So that point there. This thing's moving in slow motion. Break above this point here. Yeah, to then confirm that we have really broken out of this range, because that's the sort of, I'd say, range top. As much as price was correcting, in a bit of a flag sort of diagonal pattern, that is still the most extreme point that I want to see broken to the upside. But definitely are bullish. We've been bullish at least for the first half of the week. We're going to get a bit of a correction now, and that may be what we're seeing on other pairs. But I think ultimately will potentially continue to the upside for the week. So yeah, that being said, on dollar index, looking at Euro USD, essentially anticipating the opposite. It hasn't broken out as aggressively as dollar index, but just looking at the 4 hour, we've been caught in this corrective sort of pullback to the upside, and just put that back there. Just looking on the daily price, we retested this break point, and then we stalled a bit there, and then I think we started rejecting it quite nicely. And now the question is, look, have we rejected it for the last time, and are we pushing lower, or are we going to come back up and sort of test those levels again? But just looking at the 4 hour, we have shifted structure. We're trading lower, like dollar index. I think we're just getting that pullback now a bit higher. That's the area where I'm looking for price pull back into potentially, and then shift to the downside and potentially continue lower. If we don't and we get a break above these levels here, I'll monitor the daily, but I think for me that'll be a sign that we are heading a bit higher on EU. I think I'll look at obviously dollar index and EU interchangeably just to get signs in terms of what's happening. But the high time frame is bearish on Euro USD. We've got some good sort of signs from the from the daily and the 4 hour that we're starting to head lower. So yeah, I'm not gonna speculate of something that could happen when I'm seeing structure play out now. I think I'm just gonna follow structure. On the lower time frames, I thought there was something here, but look, if you want to trade this pullback, you can. I think just for me, there's no entry just because yeah, just of a minor tweak. If I was looking for the longs today, I would have had to take it below this point here. That's just in my rules, and again, of something I'm testing. So the fact that we are trading above there and our POI is above that point, it's just a no trade for me at the moment. So I do still think this is going to get higher though. So yeah, if you were looking to trade that to the upside as part of that pullback, then I do think that's what will play out, and you'll probably get a good trade out of that. USDs are. I think similarly to your USD, or no, not really actually. I think this from last week had pushed lower, shifted structure on the 4 hour when we broke this point here. And prices didn't really form that deep pullback that I thought we would this week. But then again, corrections can be impulsive and very deep, or it can just literally be caught in this tight range here for however long until it's ready to move to the downside. So just kind of being patient with that. I think it is kind of still trapped within this corrective within this corrective range. Just moving from the upside. Thought we would get a move higher actually, but this 2 hour level held, and yeah, just looking to see how price is going to play out from this low here. I think just in terms of what dollar index is doing, yeah, it's coming a bit lower, but yeah, if I track this with dollar index, then I'd see this come a lot higher. And I think this is, from a 4 hour perspective, really shifted lower. So there might be some short term correlation here and there, but I think this is really, it's kind of ready to go a bit lower. So we're going to see how the daily closes, going to see how price reacts to this level here. There's nothing at the moment for me on this pair. But I think at the moment we kind of still just could correct higher in this area. Then I'll be waiting for a proper maybe shift of structure, impulsive momentum to the downside. Yeah, based on how I execute some positions lower. So kind of just waiting for this to develop a bit, because yeah, there's nothing at the moment. On APY, I think after a very impulsive week last week, I didn't want to rush into this. And again, apologies for how messy like these charts look. Yeah, put this up, I think, over time. It's just sometimes when you're not used to seeing certain things, you just got to have certain things on the charts like the whole time, and just reading between the lines, literally. But yeah, GJ, Marcy's pair, very impulsive last week. So I think automatically I was kind of a bit cautious with this pair. I didn't want to jump into it because I think after such an impulsive move, either we were going to continue with that impulsive momentum this week, or correct and retrace essentially how far we moved last week. So almost see a week where we got almost 100% retracement, or we were kind of just going to correct again. But given how long we've kind of been in this corrective phase on GJ, I think heading into another drawn out corrective phase is very highly unlikely. So I'm more in favor of either a continuation to the upside, or a full retrace of last week's momentum. something I'm kind of being conscious of with GJ is, or actually with a lot of my peers now, is kind of looking at multiple scenarios in terms of like not being very fixed on like this is going to happen. Obviously, I follow structure, but asking myself, if this doesn't play out and structure breaks, how am I going to sort of position myself then? What I was seeing now is we had at the beginning of the week sharp push to the downside, and then we started correcting higher. What I think will happen now is either a push to the upside to test these highs, this wick, or from this point here, I think we're just going to come lower, potentially into this demand. And I think I'm kind of just being guided by the lower timeframes in terms of which of those two outcomes I'm looking at. Dropping down to the lower timeframes, yeah. So I was looking for a buy here and potentially still so, but probably not. Just looking at how our price is playing out now, but I'll probably need a close on this. But it was a 30-minute. Imagine. Radio I 100 meg line. Still nonsense.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro. It's looking clean now, though. It's looking clean now, bro.
I really don't. Yeah, I'm not fathoming that. You hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro. I can hear you.
Cool. Seems to be back. Yeah, but I was monitoring the 4-hour close on this and saw this 4-hour retrace, and yeah, just lost a whole lot of confidence in the setup. Because yes, we did get strong push to the upside after that accumulation, but I think just looking at also just some of the sequencing in terms of how this is playing out over the day, I think we're probably going to get a push. We drew a leg lower, so we did come up a bit higher our London session. So yeah, I'm going to wait to see on the for a breaking close below here. But again, that's what I was saying. My primary look to trade lower if I'm back. So depending on how we close here, if we do close bearish, then I'll be looking for price to correct up into this POI, look for entry confirmation, and then yeah, take that lower if we close bearish, which it looks like we most probably will.
Yeah.
Close above here. on how this closes in the next 3 minutes, then decide going forward. But essentially neutral on GBP JPY, but looking to play it both ways, essentially just waiting for the market to show its hand, and then I'll position myself accordingly. US30, no setups at the moment. To be honest, this one's a bit confusing, and I'm keen to see how you're looking at it, because while I think we had the same structure last week and we said it was bearish, kind of just looking at how it's playing out, and the volume I almost expect is a part of me that's seeing this whole structure here and contemplating whether this is actually really just going to go higher from here. I think as a first take profit area or first point at which I saw price coming, this has been fulfilled after we started trading lower, but this was TP2 all the way down here, and I don't think we're going to get that filled. So I think it's just observing how price is playing out now, but I'm slow Wi-Fi is like my pet peeve.
Jeez. I'm gonna jump into the charts now, bro. I'm gonna jump in, bro. Yeah. So just taking a look at Forex Factory before we jump in. Now, obviously we know this is the first week of the month, and since it's the first week of the month, it's a week that's filled with news, and I think I mentioned it.
Jump in, bro. Jump in, bro.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it on my Sunday review that I won't be trading too much this week because of all the red folder news. The good thing is, so far this week, there wasn't too much high impact pound news as yet in London. So I could take a look at London sessions, but not necessarily too much of New York sessions, just because there's so much jam-packed news. And so if you look at tonight, for instance, we have FOMC and we have the rates that's coming out on USD. So a lot of the analysis that I'm doing it with caution, and I'm also noting that because the FOMC statement and the rate that comes out could have a high impact on the charts, I do know that, like, I have my structures in place, what I'm anticipating, but I understand that it could get invalidated very quickly tonight or even throughout the week. So I'm doing analysis to anticipate what could potentially happen. However, I'm also open to the fact that if price action potentially moves very impulsively into a point of interest and we don't get a clean shift of structure, because to be fair, if price action moves into a 4-hour point of interest, for example, what you will see is that if it moves very impulsively, is that the 15-minute won't necessarily have too much pullbacks. So then you won't even see any structures on the 15-minute to then anticipate where it could break back in your direction. So those are the things that, like, I'm just aware of. with like the news that's coming up, and then just knowing that it's NFP come Friday. And yeah, but anyway, let's jump into the charts and what I'm anticipating. So I think majority of my pairs is quite similar to Sam. Jumping into DXY firstly, I think we pretty much bullish on this. However, I'm anticipating that we're going to get these pullbacks into these points of interest and then potentially see another push to the upside. Now, as I mentioned, there is invalidation points that I am looking at, which would be, sorry, let me just mark this, which would be these areas right here. And that's where price action could potentially invalidate my setup. And the reason why I'm marking it, because I understand that as much as we anticipate what's going to happen and as much as we have this game plan, you have a plan A and you have a plan B. And as Sam mentioned, I feel like it's good to just have the plan B, not saying that you're not going to take trades out of your potential points of interest or your plan A. It just means that if your plan A is invalidated, what is plan B then? Just to stay ahead of the market. What do you anticipate to happen if plan A doesn't play out? And that's all it is. So for me, my plan B or my invalidation point for this is 105,460 or 105,500, those areas right there. However, what I am anticipating is a simple pullback into a simple pullback into these areas with structure to be created as we push to the downside, and then a break, and then price action potentially coming back into these areas on the 15 or 30 minute to then see price action clearing this liquidity up here. And the reason why I'm saying this liquidity area is just because I feel like a lot of people, when they saw this 4H candle close right here from a DXY perspective, a lot of people started selling. We have a bearish engulfing candle, or from an area where we rejected quite some time ago, which was like 2-3 weeks ago on the 16th of Feb or the 16th of April, sorry. So there's a lot of people who had sells right now that are in profit that's probably not even moving this stop to break even. So then their stop loss is more likely than not above there with all the liquidity in that area. So I'm anticipating that price action is going to go grab that liquidity to the upside. And with that being mentioned, if we jump into Euro USD, you can see it's the exact same thing. From Euro USD perspective, I know that last week we were anticipating the price action could come into these areas right here, and price action came into that area. And with like us entering that area, you can see that we formed these internal structures to the upside, with this being our swing low. And then we got the break of that swing low, so shifting structure back to the downside. And now what I'm anticipating is that similarly to DXY, I think I marked this on the 1 hour time frame. Similarly to DXY, I'm anticipating the price action could potentially pull back. And as we get into this high time frame point of interest, anticipate the price action could then shift structure, pull back into a newly formed point of interest, and then get that continue with at least create that double bottom or have that equal lows be created. However, invalidation point for this, and I think invalidation points today is as important as anticipation of structure, just because of the news that we're going to be anticipating and news that we have coming into the market later. My invalidation point would be these areas right here, just because this high is the high created this low that shifted structure. So that's pretty simple, pretty clean. Right now, unless you're going to get into buys, as Sam mentioned, intraday buys, even those intraday buys are a bit tricky because we have news like soon. I think we have news in 30 minutes or something like that. In 10 minutes, actually, we have final manufacturing PMI, and then we have ISM manufacturing. So there is news coming out soon. So I think I'll probably just sit on my hands for a bit and then see how structure forms, and then from there make the adjustments. Now, pound yen, as Sam mentioned, called this move to the downside on Sunday. I wasn't calling these retests of the daily. In my review, I called these retests, and I was surprised that it occurred on Monday because I thought it was going to happen maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, and we pushed to the downside. Now this move is mad, right? And from a 4H perspective, I can't really anticipate too much because the structure from a 4H perspective is still bullish. So what I had to do, I had to go down time frames in order to just anticipate what could potentially happen for the rest of the week or like the next couple of days. So what you can see is that from an hourly perspective, we have these internal structures being created. Now, I actually think I did my analysis on the 30-minute, because if you look at it, the 30-minute broke structure around these areas. We had the initial push to the downside, impulse move. We then had a correction, forming these swing highs, and then that swing high then in turn formed these swing lows. And with that being said, we had the break above these areas right here, and then we had a newly formed higher high right there. So price action shifted bullish, and there was that anticipation that price action could potentially continue bullish. Now, my break even actually came from these pushes to the upside. We had the daily being bullish, the 4H being bullish, and then we had 4H correlation. So I anticipated that we're going to get a 1 to 2, and all I did was, once I saw price action start shifting, we had broke above these areas here, and then I anticipated that once we break these highs, we should then continue. And it took me out at break even. And my alternative move was then to trade out to the point of interest or the double bottom. However, we didn't really get into this, and I like price action to really pull back into a point of interest before shifting structure on the 1 minute. Now, this candle did give me a shift of structure on the 1 minute at least. However, it wasn't deep enough into this point of interest right here, so I didn't really take it. And thank goodness for that, because now, as you can see, price action is shifting after forming this high. Price action has now formed a new low, breaking these recent lows right here. So my anticipation for this would now be for pullback, and then once this new low is created, I can then have confidence in the fact that price action is bearish, right, from a lower time frame perspective or intraday perspective. Then I can start anticipating price action to continue to the downside. Now, I do personally still think that price action needs to get back into these retest areas, and that's a long way away, at least 300 away. So my anticipation is for price action to continue if we do break and close below these hourly levels from an hourly perspective. Then I know that on an intraday basis, we've shifted structure back bearish now, and now you can start to anticipate that price action is going to continue. Now, as I mentioned, the way I trade, although price action would have shifted, I need this pullback, and then I need a continuation of the break of the low that would then be formed. So yeah, with GJ for now, I think I'm shifting my structure from being bullish to now being bearish. And as I mentioned, guys, there's a lot of news in this week, and a lot of these things can shift. If a news event in the next 5 minutes, if it pops up and we start breaking these highs, that then mean now that essentially my analysis is invalidated, and I need to shift my bias back bullish. And that's just the way, I think that's just the way trading is. You can't be set in your ways, as Sam mentioned. You need to be able to adapt pretty quickly in order to take advantage of potential setups and take advantage of your analysis. So yeah, I think it's just important to continue trading the plan. And if your plan is structure, then continue to follow structure. US 30. I think US 30 is quite interesting. I didn't really mark the area just because, to me, I'm bearish at this point. Like, after we hit this daily area that we marked out last week, Sam, we shifted structure, and I think you noted this. And now we shifted structure again, creating this new lower low. So my anticipation is that price action is in a pullback, potentially into the area in around these levels, or into a point of interest to then continue to the downside. Now, yeah, with now coming out tonight, I think this pay is going to move a lot later on. And so it's just interesting to note or to see what could potentially happen on this specific pay. Yeah, but that's my anticipation for now. With this being our most recent high on the 4H time frame, if we do break above these areas here, then I will then consider the pay to be bullish again, and I'd be looking for buys from a 4H perspective. I'd be looking for a shift of structure and a continuation to the upside. Sam, this is the first week in such a long time that I've actually done analysis on USDZAR, because it is quite clean, and I think there is potential tradable opportunities with this specific pair if we do break below these areas. Now, if we break below, what is this, 1858? If we break below 1858 on the 4H time frame, which would probably be around 7 o'clock, I'd wait for the 7 o'clock close. Once we get that break below and then I'd start anticipating sales out of these areas. When price action gets into this area here, I would be on the 15-minute time frame just looking for shifts back to the back bearish and then start anticipating the price action going to continue to the downside. This play is actually looking quite clean for me right now. And yeah, I think that's about it, bro. That's about it with regards to my analysis and what I'm seeing from the charts today. So yeah, guys, I think it's a very interesting week moving forward, and I think that what we could see later on is price potentially pushing bearish on DXY with the potential of price action going to that point of interest, and then after that potentially seeing price action then push back to the upside and continue that bullish trend, or that's what I'm anticipating at least. So yeah, I think this week it's a bit tough analyzing this week because there's a lot of like potential invalidation points. Sam, I don't know, how are you feeling for the
I
rest of the
agree,
week?
bro. I think that's why I've just been a bit patient with the week, because I think price has just been trying to find its feet a bit. I see we have broken to the downside now on GJ. Obviously, I know you like to see that double confirmation, that structure's confirmed. But yeah, you know me, bro. I'm taking that thing on the first pullback. I think, yeah, I also haven't been very trigger happy this week. I think it's coming out of last week and just reflecting on the last sequence of results, I've been just more aware of like the types of setups I've taken. There have been more setups that I could have taken this week, but like lower quality setups that in hindsight I wouldn't have been happy with. So not a very active week, but I think there will be a trade or two that I definitely take. Before the end of the week. So yeah, bro. Just I think letting the market show me what it's doing instead of trying to just forecast everything and get ahead of it.
Yeah, I think that's good, bro. I also wanted to just say shout out to us, bro. And yeah, 50, bro. Big 50. Shout out, bro. Work's been going in. And shout out, Oaks. And also I wanted to say shout out to Mishka and Potter, bro, for holding it down for the boys there too, bro. Hey, they've been holding it down for the Oaks there too, bro. So yeah, big ups, bro.
Yeah, no, shout out. I think thank you to everyone who's viewing, everyone who, likes, has subscribed, who comments both like on the videos, but also like private messages. That exactly we're both getting. This will be like, hey, shout out for the page and the content that you guys are pushing out. Like, we appreciate that, and I think we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. I think definitely it's pushing us to be better traders, be more consistent. Like Marcy was saying, I think in all areas of our lives, not just trading. And it's just good to see what's coming out of the consistency, and it's like there's no more hiding, bro. Like, which I like, because at least for me, like this past like period has been a bit uncomfortable with like the results. But I guess the channel just pushes me to try to figure out what's going on, like even quicker, rather than maybe just continuing that same cycle. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to just come week on week and just report else, bro. So something's got to give. And I think the channel's been a good way of just pushing us to do better and be better. So shout, and we'll keep keeping on. We'll keep keeping on.
Yeah, keeping on, bro. But yeah, shout out, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful week further. And remember that your unmatched perspicacity, coupled with your sheer indefatigability, makes you a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. So from your boys at Modern Day Trader, peace out.
Peace out.